Have you ever thought what lies beyond the edge of a life? Deep death. The thing that we all will face once in a lifetime. But what if I tell you more than a once? How a person feel when he is near to death? What happens in this final moment?
And I'm moving really, really fast, and I don't know how fast. And up ahead, I can see a light way off in the distance.
Amazing feeling. It was like I'd been let out of a hot, stuffy closet.
And has made me better because on that day I died. For all practical purposes, while in the dimension of time and space, he was working on me for 2, 3, 4 minutes. I may have been away for 2, 3, 4 million years.
I'm about to learn the secret meaning of life.
If death is the worst thing that happens to us, what an incredible thing. If at the end of our lives this is what's going to happen to everyone, I don't see the problem.
I recognized I moved into a place where everything that ever has happened and everything that ever will happen has happened.
These final moments, known as a near-death experience, they have fascinated us due to curiosity, inspired us to live life happily, and terrified us for the afterlife. But are they real, or just an illusion that is created by a dying brain? For centuries, people across different religions and culture, they have shared stories of leaving their body, moving through a tunnel of a light, reviewing their entire life in just flashes, and meeting their loved ones. On the other side, science says that these things can be explained scientifically. The answer is simple. It is all in your head. But what if it is not? Because there are multiple cases where doctors do not have any answer. In this video, we will try to explore the theories related to science and religion, like what they think about the near-death experience, also known as a NDE. NDE is an extraordinary phenomenon where individuals come close to the death, then they experience afterlife for a while, and then they come back. After this experience, atheists become religious. Religious become atheist because afterlife is not what they think according to their religion, and it is not religion specific experience. Whether Christian, Muslim, Hindu, all have experienced it. And wait a minute, atheist as well. But science says that consciousness is tied to a brain. If brain dies, we dies. But what if science is not good enough? Because there are multiple cases where people experience them out of a body, doctor tries to revive it, and when patient revived, patient recall every single detail of an operation room, and doctors were shocked because there was no chance that that person can be conscious. According to the patients, we are soul, we are not body, but science simply rejects the concept of a soul, afterlife and eternal life. So where should we draw a line between faith and evidence? Dr. Jeffrey Long, which is a cancer doctor. Jeff has conducted world's largest study of NDE, and there is nearly 5,500 cases. But it is just a survey. There can be more people who have experienced the NDE. Christian says that they have met Jesus in heaven. Hindus say they have met Krishna and Shiva. They said they have seen unmatched light, and they are sure about it that it wasn't their illusion. Take a case of a Pamela Arnold. Her brain surgery nearly took 7 hours. When she come back, she recall every single thing, like conversation between the doctors, the tool which is used in operations, that she couldn't have seen. Doctors don't have any answer. Or take a case of a Maria. She experienced herself out of her body, inspected entire building. She was floating into the air. When she come back, she said there is a tennis shoe on her third floor, something she couldn't have known. And guess what? There was a shoe.
That it was large, it was dark blue, there's a scuff part of the little toe, and there's a white lace that went under the heel.
Or take a case of a Tony Kikoria, who was a doctor himself. Then there is a Al Sullivan, Howard Strom, and many more. If consciousness is tied to a brain, then how that is possible? Do soul really exist? I am not biased toward any of them, and you might questioning yourself, your faith, your religion, and your education as well. So let's start with what is near-death experience. Close your eyes. Imagine this. Your heart stops. Then there is a rush of a panic, and then nothing. You're floating into the air. Silence grows louder. When you look down, it's you, lifeless. You are trying to speak, but no one hears you. You are trying to move, but your body remains frozen and you realize you are dead. This is just a start of a NDE. You are feeling peace and a love, but doctors still trying to reviving you, and they are struggling as well. But these efforts cannot pull you back. You feel weightlessness, like a ghost which doesn't belong to this world. And then you are saying something. A light appears in a distance. It's not a warm, instead of comforting. You are drawn toward it and feels like it is an endless tunnel. You start getting into it. On every step, you feel peace and a love, and that motivates you that what lies beyond that tunnel. And remember, time doesn't exist here. Fear and pain vanishes. Now you move faster toward it. Is it gateway of an afterlife? According to them, yes. They said that was the most peaceful thing they have ever experienced. But that is not it. For some other people, it was a tunnel of a darkness. Their fear became their horror. They were crying and screaming at that tunnel. They thought they were going to hell. When you reach at the end of a tunnel, your entire life flashes before your eyes. Every moment, every choice, every regret, every sin, every achievement. You are reviewing your whole life. The mistakes that you made, the loved one that you lost. For some of our people, it was emotional. And then they understand why life is considered as a journey. But for others, it was a nightmare because they get into the deepest regret. Is it a final judgment? Or your brain try to remember the favorite moments of your life? And when you completing reviewing your life, it's a wave of a warmth, a love. People said that it was a heaven. And many of people said they have met their loved ones in heaven. A friend which has passed too early, a father who dies on an early age, your grandmother or grandfather who you loved most. They were dies years ago. It looks so interesting. But what if it is a hallucination of a dying brain? But then something pulls you back. Lights start getting dim, the tunnel fades, heaven starting dissolved, faces disappear, and your body, cold and lifeless, calls you back. It looks like your body is sucking you into that to ride again. You are struggling with not to go back. Heart monitor bips again. Doctors are happy because they have successfully revived you. Your eye flutter open and you are back into this world. That is summary of how near-death experience works. What just happened? Was it a real? It was afterlife, or it was just a hallucination? Thousands of people across world have experienced it and they completely refuse it to accept that it was a just hallucination, whether it is a doctor or atheist. The question remains the same. How would you explain this logically? Number 1. Brain chemistry and oxygen deprivation. Brain chemistry plays a significant role in NDE, the parietal cortex, which is responsible for creating sensory information and maintaining body orientation, may malfunction under extreme stress. This may lead the sensation of being detached from your body, like out-of-body experience. Reduced oxygen level can cause hallucination and create altered perception of reality, including out-of-body experience. Many researchers suggest that activity in temporal lobe, which is critical for memory and perception, it acts as a key in out-of-body experience. This activity can create a hallucination of being detached from body and looking things as another viewpoint. Number 2. Tunnel of a light. The perception of a tunnel of a light may be related to activation of a visual cortex in a brain. The brain can produce vivid visual experience, including the sensation of moving into a tunnel. The same phenomenon is reported by NDE victims as well, adding the mystery that what lies beyond it. Let's say a person is bleeding too much that reduces the flow of a blood in a brain that leads to visual disturbance for the victim, such as seeing a bright light or a darkness. This may lead brain to generate imaginary patterns and visual that may be similar to the tunnel of a light. This raises the question about complexity of a consciousness. Let's imagine a person who loves his family too much. He had an accident and in a few minutes he may be die. In a moment of a crisis, person want to meet his family member for the one last time. But for some of the reason, it is not possible. In this situation, he will try to recall its favorite memory with his family. And that phenomenon is known as a life review, which is reported by NDE victims as well. The brain might experience temporal compassion, where time appears to be a slow, allowing rapid recollection and life review in just few seconds. This can create a sensation of reliving that moment again. Life review is just an attempt of a brain to process too many memories. This rapid recall can evoke range of emotion, from joy to regret. The mind may create the comforting images of loved ones, offering sense of a peace to reduce the fear of a death. This can be seen as a coping mechanism. In the time of a crisis, mind often seek what is best possible. This vision can act as a love reminder at a final moment. Let's take some of the most famous cases related to NDE. Although there is thousands of cases, but let's take a case of a Pam Reynolds who was a believer. Pam says she was floating into the air, and then she says doctor were using a tool that looked like toothbrush.
It looked like my electric toothbrush, if you can imagine the handle on my electric toothbrush.
So if our body is tied to our consciousness, so how that is possible to give accurate detail while she was unconscious?
Well, this is what is called the Midas Rex drill, and it is pretty much what Pamela described. And it's sort of in a toothbrush form, and it's not something that is visible as you're coming into the operating room.
When I came out of the body, there was no pain, no worry, no care. I looked down at my body. I knew it was my body. I didn't like looking at the body. That bothered me. But it was a wonderful, wonderful feeling to be free of it.
Yeah, that is possible that she wasn't under anesthesia completely. Maybe she was partially aware of it, but wait a minute. There is a phenomenon named anesthesia awareness. It occurs when patient cannot move but aware what is happening. It is possible that doctor have discussed about that tool and then her brain fill the gaps. Then let's take a case of a Tony Chicoria who was a doctor himself. Her beliefs were completely changed after experiencing NDE. It was a quiet evening. He had just finished a family get together. Sun began to set and he was trying to make a phone call to his mother. He dialed a number, but before he could connect, a lightning had struck the phone booth, and then for him everything went dark.
I heard a huge crack and it hit me right in the face. As it threw me back, I had the strangest sensation of moving forward, and this doesn't make any sense.
This led him life-changing doubt. And remember, he was a science man.
After my near-death experience, I was afraid to say anything to anybody. This was, in the early 90s, and at that time, somebody could call the state and say, this guy's kind of loose around the edges. He's saying things that don't make a lot of sense.
So NDE is a completely scientific phenomenon, right? If it is, then how victim knows that, where is tennis shoe, which tool is being used, the conversation between the doctors, what happened during that critical conditions. Okay, so NDE is a soul related concept. Then why every people have a different experience in NDE? Like some of them have a tunnel of a light, some of them say tunnel of a darkness, some of them say there is a demon who is inviting me to hell. Many people says that they have met Krishna, many said they have Jesus. If NDE is real, then why everyone has a different definition of a NDE? The pattern that I told to you is one of the most occurred patterns. There are some questions that you can research by your own. Number 1. Hallucination or afterlife. Number 2. Why NDE is not a consistent. How Maria know the tennis shoe. Why there is a cultural difference in NDE. Is NDE is a proof of afterlife or just a psychological phenomena? I would love to hear your perspective. Have you or someone who is close to you have experienced NDE? If yes, then what its impact on your belief? If you found NDE as a fascinating and thought-provoking, don't forget to hit subscribe button and join me to unveil the topics like this.